How's it going, Bryte Church? If you live in the Sacramento area or West Sacramento area, you are pretty familiar with the storm we had the last week. And it's interesting that after the storm, you probably came out to your patio or your backyard and you saw stuff everywhere, and your plants were all ready to place. Maybe trees fell down. It was interesting is before the storm, I was building a shed in our backyard, and as I was putting in screws and putting in material and 2x4s, I was thinking to myself, man, I'm doing this a little too much. It's just a shed. I'm like putting in bigger screws than needed. I'm putting in extra support. I'm doing all this work, and I'm like, I think it's a little too much. It's a little overkill. But as interesting as it comes, once that storm hit in Sacramento, and I came out to the backyard, there was, my neighbor's fence fell down. We had garden tools everywhere. Things were, all over the place, leaves and branches everywhere. But I look at the shed and it looked like nothing has ever happened. Like nothing was touched. And I was like, pretty surprised. Wow, I guess that work paid off. The extra effort that I put into the shed actually made sense. And I'm sure it's same thing with you. If you had a 99-cent patio set that was plastic and probably ended up in the neighbor's pool or something like that, or it was all demolished. But if you had solid iron patio set or very nice wood, heavy duty, like supported set in the backyard, when the storm hit, it still stayed in its place. And what's interesting is Jesus shows us in the Bible that building things well is very much worth the extra effort. And in Luke 6, verses 46 through 49, he tells a story of two builders. And one is taking the easy way, and he decides to build a house on the beach where there's sand, but the benefit of that is there's rocks everywhere, so he's able to find materials quicker. This is a building that's in Jesus's time, so they didn't have anything, an Ace Hardware or a Home Depot. So what you found near what you would use to build. And it says that this person took the easy way, and he didn't spend any time on foundation, just did it on the beach. Hey, I got a nice view and I don't need to worry about anything else. And then there's another man that takes the longer way, and he built it on a rock, or some commentators say he built it on a rocky hill where he knew that storms come and the water raises, so he built it on a mountain. And there's he needed to climb to get to the place, bring all the materials up there, and then he spent a lot of time on the foundation. And it's interesting. I want to read verse 48 because it's literally Lucas telling us, take the time. He took the time, and it says he is like a man building a house who dug deep and laid the foundation on the rock, meaning he went the extra mile. He did a little bit more, and he built it well. And then it says, and when the flood arose, the stream broke against that house and could not shake it. And here's the highlight of that verse: because it had been well built. And I think that's the big picture that Jesus is trying to show to people that he's telling this story, and also to us, is taking the time to build things well, including our faith and anything in life, is very much worth that extra couple hours, that extra day, and extra time that we spent into it. If you think about it, he compares the first builder that took the easy way as those who hear and don't do. meaning if some people look at the directions and they look at all the steps and all the fine print and they're like, well, this is going to take forever. How about we just do it how we think we do it, right? And maybe, they don't go all the way. And we can apply that to people's faith, is they hear, but they don't take, what, I think God will understand, or they don't go the extra mile with God and don't do the extra work. I'll just read this verse, but I won't spend any time thinking about it. I'll just quickly read a chapter or read a couple verses, and that's it. And not try to understand what God is speaking to me. And then the second person that took the longer time to build is the people who hear and they pay attention and they do the work. Do the hard work and do it complete. As it says in verse 48, dug deep and built it well. And so I think many of us come to this point in life when we have storms in our lives, whether it's a storm in Sacramento and our shed got destroyed, or we have something in our lives that causes a storm. And spiritually, we don't want to be in a place where we say, if only I had fill in the blank. For the builder, I'm sure that built it on the sand, he said, if only I had dug deeper, as it says in Luke, and took more time on the foundation, my house would have maybe stayed in one spot and not get destroyed. Or the people that hear and don't do say, if only I had, I was already at church. If only I had listened and taken notes and paid attention. Or I was already at this marriage conference. If only I had actually done the work, my life maybe would have turned out different. And same thing in faith is when we realize that what Jesus says to us is important. And if we're reading the Bible, if we're listening and praying, and God says, don't just be the hearer, be the doer, and do it well. And so my encouragement is, in our faith, let's dig deep, let's do the work, and especially build our faith well, so that when the storm comes, we don't have regrets. We can say, I dug deep, and like Luke says, it was not touched because it was built well. So my encouragement is Luke, the story of building a foundation on a firm foundation in Luke chapter 6. And may God bless you, and hope that you guys keep building well whenever the storms in life come for you.